Meeting to order and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty. It's good to see everybody tonight. I'm glad to be back.
Glad to have you back.
Thanks. I guess we'll start with the Town Administrator's Weekly Update. You ladies don't have an extra pen over there, do you?
You have mine, right?
Sorry. I thought I had one, but I don't. Thank you.
So just a few items for today. The first is regarding the transfer station. Right before you guys came in, I showed you a 1-minute clip that I did ask you, or like I kind of said, we're not going to discuss, but I needed you to see the video from in there because I don't have access to it in here. This is regarding the individual at the transfer station. As you are probably aware, I know Ed is. So the individual went back to the transfer station. Continued would not wear a mask. Transfer station superintendent tried to deal with it. Ended up calling the sheriff's department. We called Ed to go up there. The individual was gone by then. I did get an email from the individual saying that please be advised that as an exempt person and an Acton taxpayer, I will be filing a complaint against the dump personnel with the state for my treatment this morning. They have gone well above and beyond the text of the governor's order and multiple times came too close to me while dumping my trash in the outdoor hopper and clearly could have stayed 6 feet designated by the CDC. They have clearly put me in danger. I have the incident well documented. I will be seeking legal counsel. Good day. So I responded. The board was made aware of your visit to the transfer station today. The board understands you again refused to wear a mask when asked and are refusing the special accommodations offered to you by the town of Acton. As you indicate, you had a medical reason prohibiting you from wearing a mask. We have notified the sheriff's office for the way you also spoke to our employees, your failure to abide by the governor's order, and will notify our attorney of your intentions to seek legal counsel. Your failure to obey the governor's order is in question. First, it's an outdoor area where, by your own policy that wasn't followed, only allowing one person at the hopper at a time. You'll see by the evidence I present that I was targeted long before I got to the disposal area. Second, I am exempt from the order for medical reasons. You want to accommodate me by putting me in danger of dumping my trash while other maskless people are dumping as well. You will see by my evidence that I had to instruct the person behind me to wait until I was finished. Your staff is rude. From the time I got there, approached me on numerous occasions where I had to speak up. I sent this to the board. One of the selectmen called me immediately and told me to stop replying and stop emailing. So I did. I have not responded since then. I got another email. I couldn't ask the three of you, so I just went with what the one selectman told me to do. So here we go. So I have a few questions for you and the selectmen. One, why wasn't I offered the same accommodations as the vehicle 2 cars ahead of me was offered in this video? 2, why aren't the staff of the dump practicing social distancing as specified by the CDC? After reviewing all the videos, I have decided to look into a private trash company, whereas your staff is making an unsafe environment for people like myself who are vulnerable. I certainly will take any direction the board says, but I'm either going to tell him that I'm not allowed to reply to his emails. I don't like to just leave them hanging because I continue to get them. So he's looking for answers. As I stated last week, we have sent everything over to legal. They have been very clear. Even on special accommodations, if people call ahead, we have a plan in place. It's certainly not a bunch of maskless people showing up at once for a big shindig. There's a process. I just don't know at this point how you want to handle the situation. I told you I got a call from the press today asking if I, Jennifer Rue, agreed with the governor's orders. And my words, and Cheryl will attest, were, as a town employee, I'm not answering that question. Do you want to speak to one of the selectmen? And the gentleman said no, and he hung up. That was that. So, before saying he would run the story anyway, so I can't wait to see which station I make the headlines of. But nevertheless, I mean, something's got to give. I need the board to step in and handle this. Or, I did speak to Deputy Sivany. Unfortunately, he was in a And that he had another case going on. It was quite lengthy, as you've all heard. We've had all of these catalytic converters stolen off several vehicles in Acton and Shapley. Good news is he's apprehended some of the suspects.
Oh, good.
You know, but he's also one man, so while he's doing that, he wasn't able to get there as quick as possible. So what do you want to do come Saturday when the individual goes, you know, we're back in the same situation?
We've made accommodations for him on Wednesday night between 4 and 4:30.
We've made accommodations for,
We've done
yes.
everything we can do for this guy. You know,
So what am I supposed to tell the staff to do when he pulls up and,
well,
Not to
he's gotta
accept
wear a
his-
mask.
and he won't?
Then he can't dump.
Right,
So you want the employees to tell him that he is not allowed to dump his
Yep.
trash?
I do too, yeah.
He's got accommodations between 4 and 4:30 on a Wednesday night with nobody around.
Assuming he calls ahead, right.
Yep, and he can be very safe that way.
And when he throws it around or over the employee's head anyways, what is the next step? Because that's what's gonna happen.
We're gonna ban him from being there. And I'd say any more, emails or anything, send it right to our attorney.
Okay.
We're
Yeah.
done dealing with him. We've done everything we can do for this guy.
Well, it seems like we followed all the steps.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
it's,
we've got, you know, and I have another individual that has a medical condition, and he's happy as can be that he can go up there, and he understands that he has to call ahead, that, you know, the transfer station is not gonna stay open every Wednesday from 4 to 4:30 for people just to pull in and be maskless. You have to call ahead or the staff will be going home. You know,
Right.
Bob is planning it out, you know what I mean, almost 15, 20 minutes apart. He's got things in place, and,
okay.
Yeah, you can even put them, 5 minutes apart, whatever.
yeah, but he wants to make sure that nobody's there, that nobody's, you know, he doesn't want anybody, you know.
In the video we watched, I didn't see anything.
Oh, yes, the video.
Yeah, that video that we just watched, I mean,
The only thing I saw in the video was one of our attendants went over to a car, grabbed a bag and threw it away.
and he had a
We
mask
don't know
on.
what the situation with that individual was.
Right.
You know, someone that, is, can't easily get out of the car, and they had one bag to toss, I mean,
Yeah, so, right, the video showed one person dumping his trash with a mask.
Yeah.
Second person, they walked up to, Roger walked up to.
Roger walked up and grabbed the
Took the bag for
trash.
whatever reason, dumped it. The
Yeah.
next two people after dumped their own trash with a
and
mask
they all had
on.
masks on, I believe,
I don't know
Right.
what was going on with the second car, but,
so,
and we'd have to ask the employee, so.
yeah. And it's really, it's almost irrelevant, 'cause
I mean, it looked like they were doing what they were supposed to. I mean, Roger was masked, they came, the person had the mask, they got out, they dumped their trash, and yes, he did grab somebody's trash, but they didn't get out or anything like that, or,
I mean,
so,
we go
and I
outside
don't
and do
know
car
who it
registrations all the
was.
time, nothing to do with COVID, you know?
Right,
It-
right, like I said,
you know, maybe it's somebody that couldn't get out.
yeah, where I work, we have a patron in town that comes in, she's paralyzed on the left side, and she can get out of the car and get her trash, but if she's got one or two bags, my guys will go over, grab the bag.
Absolutely, I mean, that's
throw
just,
it away.
right.
It's just a lot easier on the person, the taxpayer, so.
And I guess the other piece of it is that the staff, and, you know, they did go on the record that they were concerned about the way that, you know, that they were being spoken to. Words, you know, words flaring. I had one resident that was president for most of it, that's unrelated to any of it, that, you know, stood by and thought he was gonna have to step in. I mean, we just can't have that going on up there.
No,
For the, at this
So-
point, we're almost talking the safety of the employees and the
Well,
safety
and
of the customers coming in.
And Sivney did tell me that if, you know, that he can go up and, you know, he can go knock on the door, if need be, so I guess, you know, do we answer these last
I would say the
questions?
last- Yeah, give him the answers to the questions,
Okay,
and then,
just reiterate when he can dump, when he just
Yep.
calls ahead.
yeah, and any further communications needs to go through our attorney. Yep.
And just so I'm prepared, because I just see it happening, what attorney am I using?
I would use our normal one, Brad.
I don't think that I can. Is it, I think there's a
is there a conflict?
There's a
Yeah,
conflict
there's
because it's
something.
Tattle Street, remember we
Yes.
ran into
Yeah.
that? So,
So who would we use?
I'm sure,
What was the,
Isn't there somebody else we,
what was the conflict?
well, I don't want to get down into it too much, I mean, it's just an ongoing, I
Okay,
think he
Right.
represents and the other individual, and there just may be an ongoing
okay.
dispute with, you know,
right, we don't want any conflict of interest, I mean, if we're,
all right, I'll surprise you.
Yeah.
as far as this first question, what would you do, talk to Roger. I mean, obviously, he wouldn't go up to this gentleman's car if he's not wearing a mask to grab his
Right,
trash.
there had to be a reason, and,
Okay.
I mean, I can
And I
handle,
don't-
answer these questions, I just don't
Yeah,
answer
I
them if
just
the
was
board doesn't
kinda-
want me to.
Yeah, and then that's it. You know,
In fact, we made the accommodations on a Wednesday for anyone that has an issue and wants.
right.
Right, and now all the staff is, I mean, the staff is being sent home, Bob's handling it in a special way.
Yep.
Speaking of transfer station, he does want to put it out there that, they are open the day after Christmas. So, he says that people are already calling, asking if they're gonna be open the day after Christmas. It's a Saturday, they always are, so. Speaking of Christmas, just a reminder that the town hall's closed Thursday and Friday. We've had a really crazy year this year with Christmas and families we've taken on. We have a total of 21 kids that we've taken on. We've got some unemployed parents because of COVID. We have 2 suicides tied to, in Acton. We have, just a natural cause death. We have just the most horrific things going on in these families' lives this year. The town, as always, has gone above and beyond. I mean, we're just inundated with stuff. We have 9 seniors. We usually take up 3 or 4, but we have 9 this year. We have a resident that came in town and, just wanted to randomly pick a couple of, taxes to pay off.
Wow,
We have,
that's great.
yeah, and we had, somebody that's struggling with medication due to, insurance loss and things, and somebody that, made a very generous donation towards prescriptions. I mean, it's just been phenomenal, so, thank you to everybody that did that. We'll do our best to hopefully get everything out next week. Rec notified me to say that, they were gonna drop off Santa pictures here. I've asked them to put them in individual bags and tack them up on the wall. I mean, we don't, so that's supposed to be happening. No planning board meeting this week. They've canceled their meeting, second meeting in December. Gonna meet again in January. Their next meeting's in January. No board of selectmen's meeting next week, unless something pressing comes up. Tanker loan was closed on, contract was signed. We've got the invoice and the deposit being put together and sent over, so that should be moving along pretty quickly now. Mike Corey, the APAT department head, is working on replacing the server. Remember, we appropriated $11,120 for a server. Gotten a couple of quotes. I spoke to him briefly about the difference between the two. He's asked me to pull it off the agenda. He's still negotiating, thinks he can get one a little lower. So we'll take care of that. We need to schedule this department head meeting in January. It just didn't work out in December between illnesses and department heads being out. But I plead with you to pick a day in January, and then call ahead tomorrow. We'll see what Mother Nature brings us.
Can we pick a day right now?
4 to 8. I'm sorry?
Can we pick a day?
You can, but then we're gonna have to wait for David and see if it works. That's the only, that's
Right.
what happened the last few. So it seems, yeah, you can pick a day in January and I will contact him.
Okay, yeah, and see if it works, and if not, we can,
You wanna stick with a Thursday so that you're not paying staff? If you do a Thursday at 4, I mean, they should have coverage downstairs. Certainly we have coverage upstairs. It's just department heads, so. And that doesn't have Michelle staying too late over.
okay.
7th at 4? Oh, wait a minute, that's a planning board meeting, isn't it? Yeah, that's not gonna work. How about the 14th at 4?
14th at 4?
Yep. We'll
Sure.
need to be in here. Okay. January 14th, 4 o'clock? That's all I have, Madam Chair.
All righty, thank you. All right, warrants and bills, I've signed, Ed signed. I don't know if David was in, but need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda with one correction. I don't believe under old business A, it's comprehensive plan.
Oh, yeah, we never did fix that.
That's,
They pointed that out last week.
Yep.
It is the, capital improvement.
Capital.
Capital Improvement Committee. Yep, so I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda with that correction.
Okay. All right, I'll second that. So, it's been moved, it's been seconded, all in favor? All righty. Minutes of the last meeting, we are going to skip because I wasn't here, and now David's not here, so, hopefully not next week, but in 2 weeks, we'll get that done.
Yeah, we have 2 weeks that we need approvals on, the 2nd and the 9th,
The 9th, okay.
and they have been emailed to you.
Alrighty. So I guess, let's see here. Department heads and committee chairs. Do we have anybody? It's quiet tonight. All right, well, old business. A would be the capital improvement committee.
So, I hate to say, but it's similar to, the board didn't want to move forward without a full committee, without a full board. So we would ask to do the same. It'll be on the first one in January. I mean, is it at this point, should I reach out to the 4 or 5 people to see if they're even still interested? I mean, is it something that you're going to start working on? You want to have meetings and start bringing people in, or with COVID, what do you want to do?
I would like to at least reach out and see if people are still interested, and then go from there. I guess, make a decision whether, COVID's going to get worse and we go back to Zoom or not, I guess, but once the full board's here too. But if we could just reach out, and just make sure.
All right, so we'll email the 4 or 5 people that we have, that we believe are interested, and go from there.
All right, B, workers' comp policy.
So, I know you said you watched the meeting, the first one from, you were with Michelle, she wanted to be able to sit down with you. I know that's really kind of your first day feeling back up and at 'em, so possibly Friday, or even you've got all next week, or we're not meeting next week, but I'd
Right.
really like to get the
Okay.
workers' comp and earned leave.
Is she here Monday?
Yes.
So
You want me to
maybe,
schedule?
yeah,
Yep.
maybe I could just get it all done then.
Perfect.
Do it
We'll
after.
do it after our
Yeah, after,
meeting.
would be good.
Yep, perfect.
All right,
Send Michelle an email.
so Monday,
We'll do the workers' comp and earned leave.
both of those?
Yep. Ed, did you have any questions on either one of those after
No.
Michelle presented them?
I think they're fine.
Okay. All right, so I guess we're gonna move on to new business. A, Goat Hill reimbursement.
So, every few months after they, pay out, to do a reimbursement, Carl Davis asked me to present on his behalf. He is not, in a position where, based on personal things going on in his life, that he wants to be out and about, a whole lot, and I didn't feel like, this is our 5th one that we've done, so I felt like I
Right.
could handle it for him. He and I did have a conference call today, and we went through all these numbers and all that, so these are his numbers, and we have them backed up with all the checks from the treasurer. So essentially, this is the last part of the grant that covered the walking trail. It was for $43,049.43. Goat Hill, Three Rivers / the town of Acton have paid out $49,265, and when I say both of them, you know that every time the town of Acton cuts a check, we only cut it after Three Rivers pays us for that bill. So Kennybunk company will send a bill in, we'll get a check from Three Rivers, deposit it, town cuts it, so that it's clean for the grant, so. Anyway, so this is just a reimbursement request. We request the whole $49,000. We know the grant only matches 25%, but, just need a motion to sign the reimbursement, and we'll get it in the mail.
Okay. Do you wanna,
Sure.
okay, I'll let you do one.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we sign the reimbursement for, total reimbursement? $49,265?
That's a request, yes.
Okay, yep, that amount to, we're paying Three Rivers? No, we're paying the
We're requesting the grant money back from the
Oh,
state.
we're requesting the grant
Yep.
money, okay, yep, so I'll make a motion that we request the grant money in that amount.
Okay, so we've had a motion made, all in favor? Okay, wonderful,
Oh, 3 signatures?
Well, 2 at least would be.
okay.
Yep.
Alrighty, there you go. All right, and then next we have B, which is land use construction.
So as you're aware, over the last several months, we've been working on trying to put something together for this, based on recommendations from our treasurer and everything else we have going on. Ed did ask me, we've been trying to work on something over the last few weeks. Nevertheless, here we are. I think we've come down with some things that we can work with. As far as the expenses, so they're looking for about $400 in lumber, $300 for a door, and then he's got $1,000 miscellaneous. So say motion for up to $2,000 in material. The email says $300 to $1,000 for an electrician and whatever the cost to move your camera is. So I don't know what the electrician will need to do. I'm assuming it's electrician and whatever, so.
I think they're gonna add a couple outlets to the new wall,
Sure,
because you gotta have some outlets on the wall.
of course. So, and then it was estimated at 100 hours of labor. I did speak to the code enforcement officer today and offered that you would help with that. He understands that there's no funding for it. His thought is that he will just do his best to juggle his regular job and the contractor job and work his regular 40 hours. If he goes over with your assistance, whatever hours that he go over, we will allow him to use in extra as time off, and he's agreed to use that time before the end of February. But, you know, it's gonna depend on how much of that time can be dedicated to you and him actually working on the wall, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, him hopefully taking Monday, Tuesday off, and not ending up at 60 or 70 hours.
Right,
That's what
'cause we can't,
you're gonna
yeah.
be in charge of.
Yep. There's a lot of that I can do without him here too, so.
Okay. So I guess we're looking for approximately $2,000 for material and the approval to pay the electrician. I don't want to give you a quote on that because I have no idea, and then a camera if you want it moved.
I'm fine with it.
And where is this money coming from again?
It's gonna come out of building maintenance, and building maintenance account may or may not be overdrafted. If we overdraft building maintenance, it comes out of the overall general government. In speaking to the treasurer, there are some lines that we expect not to overexpend. I mean, we're not going to overexpend general government, so.
Okay,
And building maintenance may not. I mean, it's gonna depend on what else comes up. I mean, unfortunately, we're going through cleaning supplies, you know, and a can of Lysol these days, even at our price, is $8.99 a can.
did we ever get any, like reimbursement?
Not yet.
I mean, I heard it came through, but I didn't know if, you know, the town itself, okay,
That's why we're running so low and trying to
right, that
do
makes
everything we
sense.
can.
Do we need to take a vote on this, or just make a decision?
Yeah,
or-
I'll make a motion, up to, what was it, 2,500?
It was 2,000 for the, 2,000 for material, paying the electrician and paying to have the camera moved. I think of the expenses based on the email that he sent. So that doesn't cover any labor because we're not paying out labor.
Right. So do you want to add in for the electrician and the camera move?
Yeah,
I would just say whatever the bill is for that. I mean, it's
is
not
that,
gonna, we're not
can we
gonna
do that,
authorize.
or should we have
We're not gonna authorize them to do any more than a couple of outlets, correct?
Right,
I mean,
just a
I
couple of
understand
outlets and then
phone-
they-
Maybe a couple on each side, and that'll, maybe even one.
Phone jacks were already put in.
Yep.
then
I
what-
apologize for the camera. I was told to put it in that corner, so.
that's fine, so the camera now would go on the new wall facing the door, is that right? Is that
It will
how?
go wherever Ed Walsh tells me to put it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be outside of the office area. It'll be.
Well, right, like I'm saying,
Yeah,
kind of
it's
towards the,
gonna be
because you want to
just
see who's coming, that's what it's
What
for,
will end up
right?
Being a new foyer.
Okay,
area.
right, you'll have a new little area, okay, all right. All right, well,
I'll even look at that and see how that thing's put in. Maybe there's enough wire to do something, I don't know.
okay. All right, so we made
2,000?
2,000 for materials and then
2,000 for materials itself, and then whatever it takes for the electrician and the,
camera
I
moving.
mean, that's gonna be basic, real basic, so, on that, so. Yeah,
All right,
I'll make the motion.
you make a motion, all right, motion's been made, I'll second that. All right, all in favor? Okay. Do we have any public comments? You guys are quiet tonight.
Dennis Long. I'd like to thank the Selectmen for addressing this issue. I'm not gonna force you to do this, Ed, but, if you would also like some help from me to do that down there, I'd be more willing to, whatever day works for you is fine with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Anybody else? All right.
I did notice a red light on the side of the gym. I think there must be a low temperature
Oh,
sensor
is
in
that
there.
what that is? I was
think
wondering, I
that's
saw
what
it
that
too.
is. I think that, I remember that back from the fire days. So I'll try to track that down this weekend. So if you get any calls on it,
Okay,
building's not on fire, it's just, I think that is a low temperature sensor.
okay.
So I'll have to grab the key from you. Can we
Yes,
get
sir.
another key made for that, or?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys had it changed at COVID and then never really gave me any direction since
Yeah,
then,
no, we just
so.
locked it up because we had to, so, kind of post haste, so. Yeah, if you can get another key made, just so we can have a spare.
I think there was 2 or 3 in there.
Oh, okay.
Just
Yeah, so
nobody-
if I can grab one from you tonight, then.
Yep,
we
sure,
got a
we'll get
spare.
you one.
And I'll look into that. There must be just either an adjustment on it or a breaker I can shut off.
Right, shut it down. All right,
So that's all I had there. And I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas next week.
yes.
Coming fast and furious. So,
Is any,
quite the year. So,
do we have any announcements? Does anybody? No?
I want to thank Jennifer for all her work she does with, and
Oh.
the staff with all the Christmas
Yes,
wish lists and whatnot, and the people that she helps, not only Christmas, but throughout the year. But
Thank you.
people appreciate
a
it.
huge thing to
Yeah.
do, so. Yeah, I mean, I deal with another town and they don't do anything. They haven't even opened the town hall yet and people are getting fussy. So,
Oh.
you know, we're so far ahead of things here with our staff and with Jennifer and everything you do. Thank you.
All of you girls, you do a great job. Thank you.
And to the public that makes the donations and steps up and, you know, feels they can, you know, they make these anonymous gifts. It's huge for helping out people in these times. So, just want to say thanks.
Go ahead.
I forgot. I wanted to say, some time ago, I think pre-COVID, we talked about celebrating. That was our big thing. the
Yeah,
state-
the state's 350th.
State's 350th,
I think the state pretty much gave that away too.
the fire department and the library. Well, the library's the only one who's really come through. And just encouragement, they have a cookbook.
Yes,
It's from the Acton Library Centennial Cookbook. I think it goes from 1920 to, 2020. It's $10 for the library. So last minute Christmas gifts, just a plug to the library.
thank you. Anybody else? Well,
Anything else?
nothing else? Nope, all right. Well, I guess I'm looking for a motion.
we adjourn?
I'll second that. All in favor? Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I know it's cold and
And so,
snow's coming.